What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Goblin, and today I'm coming in with a story time for you guys about my first time doing hydro. So I hope you guys do enjoy this video. Drop a like if you guys enjoy, and also don't forget to check out my second channel in the description below if you guys want to see some Let's Plays of other games like Dark Souls. I'm going to be doing a Fallout series on there pretty soon, and maybe a couple other games. We'll see, where that goes. But either way, check out that channel in the description below. And also, I would like to mention a couple things before I dive in. First off, I'm not going to be doing a story about like OxyContin or Percocets because they're essentially too similar to hydros, if not the same, to really justify a separate video. So this is more of just a general story about my first time doing painkillers, essentially, but the specific one I did was hydrocodone. So hope you guys enjoy. Drop a like on this video, and let's dive into it. So, first time doing hydros. Now, the interesting thing about this is that this was actually somewhat recent. I've never really been one to fuck with painkillers, and I did a lot of other harder drugs before that, but I was never really one to mess with painkillers very much. So when one of my friends ended up getting a prescription for hydros because he got ran over, I was like, okay, that's awesome. And that sounds really fucked up, but don't worry about it. It was just his foot. He was completely fine. The dude's cooling it now. He's completely fine, not even in a cast. But, anyways, he got prescribed hydros, and he had 10 milligram ones, and he gave me 4 of them. And I was like, all right, I don't really know how much I'm supposed to take here, so I'm going to just pop all 4 of these bitches and smoke a blunt and see where it takes me. So I was sitting at home after school, and it was just a pretty average afternoon. I was watching some YouTube videos, making some YouTube videos. It was just a great time, and I'm not going to say which day this was because in one of my videos in the past, I was actually off the hydros in the commentary, and, I'm pretty good at handling myself off the drugs, so I don't really know if you guys realized it or not, but I was pretty fucked up in one of my commentaries 2 or 3 months ago. I'm going to leave it at that. But anyways, so I popped all 4 of the hydros. I was just like, fuck it, let's just see how it goes. And I faced a blunt after that. Immediately after popping, I went right out to my garage and I faced one 1-gram blunt, and then like an hour and a half later, I faced another gram blunt. So, I faced about 2 grams at this point, and the second blunt I went out to smoke is when I was feeling the hydros. So I really started to feel the come up at that point. And it was a little before that I was feeling the come up, but it really intensified after I was hitting the blunt. And it was a really, really interesting feeling that I can't really compare to any other drugs, honestly. It was really unique. I felt the come up, and it was like I felt myself being just lifted up somewhere else. Like I lost like a lot of feeling in my body, and I mean, it's a painkiller, no shit, but like it was like a really euphoric kind of thing. Like I was really feeling incredible, honestly. Like my whole body felt okay. I was like pinching myself, and like I could feel it, but I didn't feel the pain, if that makes sense. Like it was like someone was poking me. Like I could clearly like feel that I was being touched, but the pain element wasn't there. It was more of like just kind of like, I don't know how to put it, like something was bumping into me, but it just wasn't hurting me. So I was like, wow, I feel really great right now, and I just like, I can't feel pain right now. Like that's awesome. And I knew like I could probably feel like intense pain, but like little things, like I wasn't feeling it. It was great. So I was sitting out there smoking the blunt, and as I was hitting the blunt, the like act of smoking and holding in the smoke, like, how when you're smoking a blunt and it gives you a pretty decent head rush, like when you're first hitting it, like you're not high, but it just gives you that head rush. It was really intense when I was off the hydros because I was like already feeling really like uplifted and kind of like out of body a little bit, like it kind of somewhat similar to ketamine in a sense, if any of you guys have ever done that, like a little bit, but like just with the out of body, like tranquil kind of thing, not with like many of the effects. It's just a very similar like state of mind, I guess you could say. So I felt really, really incredible, and I finished smoking this blunt, and I just had a really nice head rush. I was just feeling incredible, so I smoked a cigarette immediately after that, and that was just fucking remarkable. It felt like air. Like I don't smoke squares anymore. I used to, Newport gang all day, but I was smoking the square, and it felt so good. Like it felt like air, but like it felt like it was saving my life. Like I was like, oh my God, this square is everything I could ever dream of right now. So I finished smoking in my garage, went back inside, and I sat down in a chair, and the moment I sat down, I knew I wasn't getting up. I was like, there's no fucking way I'm ever getting up, because I was baked as shit, and I was also fucked off the hydros. So I was feeling like really, really relaxed and like painless and just A-okay, because weed also has some pain-killing abilities in it, you know? So, like, I was just feeling really, really relaxed and tranquil and, like, okay. Like, everything was just lit. So I was just watching various videos. I was on, like, Live Leak watching, like, fucking ISIS bombings and shit. And I was just like, this is crazy. Like, holy shit. Like, I was just, whenever I'm high, I watch, like, really random shit. Like, I remember one time I was tripping really hard off acid, and I watched, like, do you guys know who Martin Shkreli is? He's, like, the dude who raised drug prices on that AIDS drug, and he's just a piece of shit, and he lives in New York, and he's, like, really well known for just being a dick. I was watching, like, documentaries on him for, like, 3 hours, and I was tripping, and I was just, like, fascinated by this man. Like, I'm always really into random documentaries and videos when I'm high, and there was no exception with this. You know, I was sitting there watching all sorts of random videos, and I just felt really, really comfortable. And at this point, I hadn't listened to music yet, so I was like, hey, I bet some music would be pretty fucking great right now. So I pulled out my phone, put in both my earbuds, played some Lil Uzi, and I was like, oh, I understand why this man's a thing now. Because before this, I wasn't really very into Uzi, but I played some, and I was like, oh my god, this is fucking incredible. Like, the music was just so good. Like, it was so, like, how do I put it? And it was probably because of more the state of mind I was in than, like, the actual, like, music itself. But just, like, I was feeling so great that, like, everything around me, no matter how shit it was, felt great too. So, like, I was just listening to my whole playlist, not skipping any songs, and every song was just bumping. I was just like, yeah, this is my shit, nodding my head, in my chair, completely zoned out, completely just plastered to my chair. And then I had to take my dog out. And this is where stuff got interesting. So I took my dog out for a little bit of a walk, right? Because, like, he has to go out every, like, 4 or 5 hours. He's still a puppy. So I took him out, and we were walking a little bit, and there's hella people. It was a decently nice day, and the week before had been really cold. So, like, everybody was out. Everybody was out walking their dogs, playing and shit. And my dog's a dickhead. So my dog, you know, of course there's someone else walking their dog. And I was like, oh, fuck, let's just hope they walk by. Nope, knowing my luck, of course they come over and try to talk to me. And at this point, I hadn't really had to socialize with anyone yet. So I didn't know how functioning I was socially. So this dude comes over to me. And he has his husky, and this dude lives, like, across the street, and his dog's a dick. Like, it hates my dog. So, you know, they're like, his dog's growling at my dog, and this dude always wants to make conversation with me. So he's talking to me, and I, like, couldn't get a sentence out. Like, I remember he asked me how my day was going, and I just went good and, like, nodded at him. Like, I just kind of nodded yes as I said good, and he looked at me like I was fucking retarded, and my eyes were probably red as hell, and I was probably just looking brain dead. So after that, he just kind of went, well, have a good one, and just kept walking, and I was like, oh, I think I handled that pretty well. Looking back at it, I didn't, but at the time, I was like, oh, I'm pretty smooth. So, you know, after that, I just kept walking my dog and took him back inside, laid down on my bed, and just looked up at the ceiling and crashed. I was out cold because I was really tired already. Like, I didn't get much sleep the night before, so I was just out cold. And I woke up the next morning. This was like 7 p.m. when I was looking up, and I woke up the next morning at like 6 a.m. and I was like, god damn, like, holy shit, that was fucking great. And then after that, you know, next morning, got ready for school and repeated the routine. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a like on this video and share your stories with oxys, hydros, perks, any sort of painkiller in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.
Big G Herbo, I must say I came a long way. Remember posting on the A block in that hallway. What you name? Hustling, we serving nicks, might get 6 for the dub. Now I need 15 for a show plus my stick in the club. We hit your club 150 deep, 150 guns. You know that's about 2,000 shots, looks like they straight off the lot. We pull up 50 whips, 40 auto rails, my crew got some sauce on the top. Got your hoe in the passenger, but I'm not smashing her, she just